Hey guys, Cal here today with the all-new redesigned 2025 Chevy Equinox Midnight Edition, and this one also comes equipped with the Convenience Package 2 option. Those two packages together are $3,095. I'm going to go over each package individually, and I'm going to tell you if either of those packages are actually worth buying. Alright guys, before we get started, I did go ahead and print off the window sticker so we can get a good look at it without any of the sun glare. So this is the 2025 Equinox LT front-wheel drive. This is in sterling gray metallic. I really do like this color. I think it has some nice metal flake in it. Looks really, really good. I do like that in the sun. So sterling gray metallic is a pretty good looking color on the new Equinox. And if we look at the rest of the window sticker, you have your warranty info right there, your options for the interior, all that good stuff, safety info, Convenience Package 2, your safety and tech package, and then your Midnight Edition package right there. All that put together, it is $34,165. Got your fuel economy info down there. I'll go ahead and kind of sit still if you guys wanted to pause it, take a look at that. All right guys, so starting with our Midnight Edition package, that is a $1,045 option, and I'm going to actually quantify it for you guys. I'm not just going to throw a number at you. So that $1,045 added onto the sticker price is going to make about a $19 or $20 difference a month in payment if you were to finance this thing for 72 months. So we're just going to ask ourselves, is this Midnight Edition package worth about $20 a month? On the front end, you're going to notice that this grill bar up here is chrome, and then these little slats that pop out of the grill, these are also chrome on the LT model. So on the Midnight Edition here, you have a blacked out grill bar with that gloss black paint, so very, very pretty. And then you have the gloss black paint on the inserts right down here instead of having chrome. On the front end, instead of having a gold bow tie, you have a blacked out bow tie. Really do like the look of that. And then if we come around to the side here, you'll see blacked out Equinox badges right there. And then if we also come around the back end, you'll see blacked out Equinox badges right here. And then you'll also see a blacked out bow tie in the rear end as well. And then up here, these roof rails, instead of being silver, they are a gloss black paint, so it's not like an aluminum look up here. They do have some beautiful paint up there as well. And then on the side mirrors, instead of being body color like they are on a regular LT model, this is a gloss black paint on the mirror caps. And then my favorite part of the entire Midnight Edition package is these 19-inch gloss black aluminum wheels. I think these are just so beautiful. I think that, you know, this is definitely a huge upgrade from the 17-inch silver wheels that are on the standard LT model. So these are 2 inches bigger. They just have such a tough, aggressive look, and they give the whole Equinox a different stance with these wheels on here. So I think, you know, I would even consider maybe doing like an all-terrain tire on this at some point once these tires wear out, just to give it an even edgier look, because these 19-inch wheels on here, they kind of remind me of back in like 2016 or 2017, Chevy had the Silverado Z71 with the Midnight Edition package, and it had wheels that pretty much looked identical to this. They had like the same ridges. It was like the same, you know, 5 or 6 spoke design. And I think that these wheels alone, I mean, you know, besides everything else the Midnight Edition package comes with, I think these wheels alone make that $1,045 difference in the sticker price worth it, at least for me, because it gives this SUV a whole different look, takes it to a whole nother league. So I would say for me, the $20 a month is going to be worth it for the Midnight Edition package. I think it gives the whole SUV a different look. I love it. All right, guys, taking a look under the hood of the all-new 2025 Chevy Equinox is the 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that we are pretty familiar with, because this was in the last generation of Equinox since 2017, and it was also in the Chevy Malibu as well. So we have seen this engine around in Chevy's lineup, so we do already know what to expect from it. Now, it does put out 175 horsepower and 184 pound-foot of torque in this front-wheel drive setup. If you get the all-wheel drive setup, you're going to be getting 203 pound-foot of torque. So I do like the all-wheel drive better for one simple reason, and that is because it does come with a regular automatic transmission. It's an 8-speed, whereas if you get the front-wheel drive model seen here, not only do you get that slightly less amount of torque compared to the all-wheel drive version, but you also get a CVT transmission. I myself am not really a fan of CVT transmissions. I don't really like how they drive. I think they kind of have a strange droning effect, and at some of those higher highway speeds, they all also do have slower takeoff than a standard transmission. So I do think that the CVT is not my cup of tea. I wouldn't go with it. If I was buying this new Equinox, I would definitely be going with the all-wheel drive so I could get that regular automatic transmission. Now taking a look at the fuel economy on this 2025 Equinox front-wheel drive, we are looking at 26 miles to the gallon in the city, 28 miles to the gallon on the highway, and 27 miles to the gallon combined. Now on the old Equinox, the 2024 model, we are looking at 26 miles to the gallon in the city, 31 miles to the gallon on the highway with that 6-speed automatic transmission and the same engine. So I don't really understand why GM went with this engine option, because as we can see from the info from the EPA as far as gas is considered, it wasn't a fuel savings. So I think the only reason that GM decided to go with this CVT transmission was because of cost savings. It must have been cheaper to produce, and that is why they ended up going with this CVT transmission. It's really the only conclusion I can come up with. So that is yet another reason I would not go with this CVT transmission, is because it is getting worse gas mileage than last year's front-wheel drive Equinox. Okay guys, now we are talking about the $2,050 convenience package 2 and seeing, is that package worth it? Now that package, for your monthly payment, if you were to finance this for about 72 months, that is going to affect your monthly payment by about $37, so almost 40 bucks to add convenience package 2. Now, what does that package come with? Well, on convenience package 2 up front, you will see that the windshield wipers, they are going to be rain sensing, so they do have the ability to turn themselves on. That comes with that package. It also has heated wiper park as well. Now, what heated wiper park is this bottom of the windshield is heated, so when you're not using the wipers, it kind of prevents this bottom section from becoming icy in the wintertime, and when you're defrosting the car, it also makes the whole defrosting process a little easier because this bottom of the windshield is heated. So that is kind of a neat feature. And the next feature in convenience package 2, if we go inside here, is the 8-way power driver's seat. When I did test drive the base model LT, that one did have a manually controlled seat. So with that convenience package, you are getting the 8-way power driver's seat down here, and it also does have the 2-way power lumbar as well. So that is kind of nice. I do like having some lumbar support after a long day at work, so that is a nice feature to have. And also included in convenience package 2 is these EvoTex seats, this new seating material that it basically is the same as Chevy's old, you know, kind of fake leather that they used to put in the vehicles before they came up with the EvoTex name. It's very similar to them, but I will say it is a little softer, a little cushier than the old Chevy leather was, so I won't call it quite the same, but it is pretty similar. So I do at least like the patterns that they've done. They at least tried to get a little creative with it and make it look a little higher end. Now, me personally, I don't really know if I would say that the EvoTex seats are my favorite, only because, you know, leather seats in the summertime and in the wintertime, they can either be really hot or really cold when you first get into the car. They're not really my favorite. I honestly would prefer a cloth seat, but I do really like the look of them. They did kind of put a neat pattern in the seating. I think they did at least try with the design, and they do feel very sturdy, and again, they do have pretty good cushion, much better cushion than the old Chevy leather did. So if you are somebody who does like leather seating, I think you definitely will be down with these. But as for me, it's not really a big deal. I wouldn't really have to have these in my Equinox in order to be happy. And climbing into the driver's seat, I will show you guys all the interior goodies that come with that convenience package 2. Go ahead and put our foot on the brake and hit the start button and get her fired up. There we go. So there's really only a few things in here. It's not really a huge difference in here, obviously, aside from having the leather seating instead of the cloth seating. But as far as the goodies up here that it gives you, with that convenience package 2, you are getting dual zone climate. So it is kind of nice to have that option. If you do have somebody who is in the passenger seat that's usually cooler or warmer, that is kind of nice. And then you do have wireless charging for your cell phone in here as well. So this, for me, I don't really care about having to plug my phone in. I've done it in my Silverado for quite a few years now, so I don't really have to have this, but I did have my phone in here briefly. It does actually work well. Unlike most wireless chargers that I feel like they're always coming disconnected, this one does work pretty good. In here, it also does have a cabin humidity and temperature sensor somewhere up here in the dashboard. So I think by the name of that on the window sticker, what that does for you basically is on those humid summer nights on your way home, it does keep the windshield from fogging up. You know, usually during those humid days at night, we're always kind of playing with the AC controls to keep that fog off of the windshield. This should hopefully, by the name, do the work for you, which is kind of cool. And the last interior goodie that comes with that convenience package 2 is a sunglass holder. Surprising that that is not on the standard Equinox. I feel like that's kind of a pretty simple thing to have. I don't know why I would have to get a package to get a sunglass holder, but we go ahead and hit this and go into demo mode and check out the radio. I did fully go over this in my last Equinox review, but just wanted to say that this whole system in here, very, very easy to use, good looking. You have the Google Maps integration that, like I have said in my past reviews, you do have to pay. It's like 25 bucks a month to keep this feature running. There's no longer any built-in navigation, no matter what Equinox you get. It's all just the Google Maps integration that you have to pay for. But I have heard from a couple viewers that if you plug your phone in, you can get the Apple Maps or the Google Maps off of your phone to show up on this screen. Do keep in mind, you don't have to plug your phone in on this new generation in order to get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto to work on this new generation of Equinox. The Apple CarPlay or Android Auto is wireless, so that is kind of neat. So you do have this really cool screen up here that just has a very crisp look to it. That's my favorite screen personally. Looks the simplest, it's the easiest to look at, and everything over here is just laid out so well. I just love the way that everything functions. It runs very quickly. It sort of feels like an Android phone as a radio, so everything is super snappy. The graphics are pretty sweet. On the Sirius radio, you do get the cover art of whatever song is on the radio, so kind of neat there. So this whole interior is very well done. It is comfortable, even for me being 6'2". I do have, as you can see, pretty good leg space here. I mean, I'm about all the way back right now, but if I had to take a road trip in the Equinox here, I definitely would not be disappointed. And if we step out of the Equinox and move around to the rear, we will see the last feature that comes in Convenience Package 2, and that is the AutoSense rear tailgate. So what this will do, oh, starting to beep at me. What this will do is sense that you are coming to the back of the vehicle here, and it will automatically open the tailgate for you, just like it just did for us. Doesn't work every time. Sometimes I was having a little bit of difficulty getting it to work, but it is a kind of a neat feature, because if you are, you know, you walk out of the grocery store, you leave the cart because you don't feel like finding one of the cart corrals to return it, so you leave it in there, you got hands full of groceries, you're walking towards the trunk. It is nice to have that automatically open up for you. So kind of a neat feature. For me, again, not required. I'm kind of more of an old school buyer. I'm just used to cars really not having this many tech advanced features. So for me, not really necessary, but I gotta say, that is definitely them thinking on their feet. I think it's a very, very cool feature for moms or parents who, you know, frequently have their hands full. And that is a really neat feature. You know, put the strollers in there, put the groceries in there. That is a really, really cool option that comes with this convenience package too. All right, guys, and as for trunk space on this new generation of Equinox, we're looking at 29.8 cubic feet of space back here, and that is basically the same size as the last generation Equinox. That Equinox clocked in at 29.9 cubic feet of space, so basically the same size trunk back here. Now, coming back to that convenience package 2, do I think it's worth it? The $2,000, the $37, or basically $40 a month. For me, since I have seen the basic Equinox LT, I don't really think that that extra $40 is worth it. I don't really care about having a power tailgate. Also, the seating surfaces inside the EvoTech, like I said, in the summertime, it is just a little hot, a little sweaty, and then in the wintertime, it is just a little cold when you first get in the car. So for me, in this new generation of Equinox, the cloth seats are pretty cushy and pretty supportive, pretty comfortable. So I did like the cloth seats in the new Equinox. So for me, I don't really think that 37 bucks a month is worth it for the convenience package. I mean, even in the base model LT that I looked at, you're still getting that 11.3-inch radio screen that we just saw in this one. You're still getting the 11-inch driver information center for your speedometer and your tach, all that stuff right in front of your steering wheel. So I think that, you know, it comes with so many features standard now that you really might not miss a lot of the other frills that is coming with this convenience package too. So for me, I wouldn't spend the extra money on it, but you know, you're gonna have to see all the features that we went over. If any of those are a must for you, then I guess the 37 bucks a month is gonna be something you're gonna have to add on. All right guys, a couple things I wanna go over in the interior real quick before we take off. Like I said in my other review, I did kind of go over everything pretty thoroughly in the last review, but we will go ahead and touch just a couple things before we take this for a quick little ride. And I just wanted to say this piano black trim in the interior is a fingerprint magnet. I just noticed this when I opened the door with the sun. I've only opened this door a few times here, and already you can see my fingerprints in the reflection of the sun there, and that is already starting to come in. So gonna have to keep the wipes handy in the car to keep this stuff clean. So you have the piano black trim on the door that you got to worry about. You have the piano black trim on the cup holder surround right here. And then you also have the piano black trim on this little strip that runs into the climate control right here. So that is all a fingerprint magnet. Going to be a little difficult to keep clean. So do keep that in mind. And then I have mentioned this in my other reviews, but just to reiterate, in order to turn on your headlights, it is a digital button now. There's no longer a dial down here or anything like that. So you do have to turn on your headlights with this little digital button in the touchscreen now. And then to get to your fog lights, you're going to hit this little control center on the top left, and then you're going to hit that right down there, and then that will switch on our fog lights. And I will give you guys a quick look at that before we take off. Your fog lights down below. So I do like that on the lower trims, like an LT like this one is. They have not taken fog lights away, like some companies like Mazda has on their CX-5s in the last few years. On the mid-range model, they did not give you fog lights down below, so that is kind of nice. I do like to see some fog lights on vehicles. So great lighting up here. Love the daytime running lights, love the projector headlamps, the fog lights. Awesome job with the lighting on this car, and the rear taillights are stunning as well. If we go ahead and flick on the hazards, check out these taillights. They are beautiful looking taillights back here. So great job with the lighting. Just listen to how weird that sounds. There's just like no change in tone, no shifting. I mean, it's just one big long groan all the way up to whatever speed you're trying to get to. So, you know, I get it. You know, a CVT is not like a regular transmission. You know, we don't have those gears like we do in a regular automatic transmission, but I don't know, something about it just weirds me out. And this is why, you know, I myself would never really be in the market for, you know, say something like a Honda CR-V or a Nissan Rogue or anything like that, because I just don't like the CVT transmission. If you're somebody that, you know, you don't really care about, you know, you're not really into the auto world and you're really just kind of looking for something to get you point A to point B, then you probably won't care. If you are somebody that, you know, you have a little bit of knowledge in the auto world and you've always just kind of been used to that automatic transmission, I think that I would definitely avoid it. And as for the ride in here, it does soak up bumps pretty well, just like past Equinoxes have. And while the road noise is a little loud from the tires, I don't really notice anything. It's not horribly loud in the cabin. Really, the only noise from the outside that I'm hearing is from the tires. So a decent amount of road noise in here, but as far as the entire cabin itself goes, pretty quiet in here. I don't hear too much wind noise from the windshield. So yeah, I think it is a comfortable package like the Equinox has been in past generations. And I mean, really, if you guys are looking for, again, just a great car to get you from point A to point B, and it looks pretty sharp doing it, I would say the Equinox is definitely going to be something that has to stay on your radar. All right, guys, that wraps it up for my review of the 2025 Chevy Equinox Midnight Edition. I wanted to thank you guys for watching, and I also wanted to give a quick shout out to my friends over at Bob Johnson Chevrolet for letting me use this Midnight Edition Equinox to film for you guys. And if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe so you can see my future new car reviews, and I will see you guys on my next video.